Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Cy from Unravel and Unwind, and today it's time for another plan with me. Now, today we are going to be making a tracker, and there's lots of different types of trackers that you can have. But the one we're making today is called, well, I call it a media consumption tracker. And this specific one is going to be a reading tracker, so books, basically books. And I'm counting audiobooks in with this because I do a lot with my hands, as you all must know by now, and I don't often have time to just sit and look at and turn pages, but I do from time to time. So let's make a book tracker. Now, the ones I've seen, I really love, and I have meant to make one of these for years, and I just haven't. So today is the day. The tracker is going to look like a bookshelf, and then the bookshelf is going to have little outlines of books on them, and then you fill in the name of the book, and then when you're done reading it, you color it in, or something like that, anyway. Or maybe you just draw the books and then you write the names of the books in. You could do it either way. I think what I'm going to do is write the books in and then color them in and leave some blank ones in case I'm reading anything unplanned, which, let's face it, happens all the time. So, normally a lot of people will place their bookshelf like in a little room looking thing, like with a plant on it or something, but I'm not really that much of a drawer. So, I'm going to start with pencil. I've got a dot grid sheet of paper here, so that's going to be easy. I am likely to make mistakes, so I am doing pencil first so that I don't have to start all over again because that's no fun to watch. So, rectangle. I'm going to leave room for a little title at the top, and I'm going to leave some room at the sides as well. Certainly because I am going to be putting reinforcements on this. So I'm going to be doing that. Um, Now, even though I've got a dot grid here, I do like my lines to look hand-drawn, so I don't use a ruler. If you are that type of person, you go ahead and use a ruler, no judgment here. But I like a little wiggle in my lines. So you can just about see that, I'm sure. I'm just trying to go lightly because I will eventually do all of this over in pen. One of the things I have noticed is that a lot of people like to put cute things on their shelves as well, not just books. And I like it when the shelves are slightly different sized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one square in from the outside here. And I'm just going to make a sort of long, narrow alcove in there. And then this is going to come like that. I'm leaving one square width for the actual wooden part of the bookshelf. And that later on I am going to color in like a wood color. And then I reckon, see in here, I'm going to want to put, I just think it's really cute. I want to put in like a little plant pot there. So I'm going to have a little, there we go. I really don't draw. You can tell, can't you? Um, there you go. So there's a plant. I've drawn a plant in there just to break things up a little bit, make it a little more interesting. And then I am going to make this shelf here a little bit taller. Like that. And I might put another little funny alcove in just here. I don't know what I want to put in there yet. You know, maybe just like a little, I don't know. Like a little science flask or something. There we go. That's cute. I don't draw things very often, but yeah, that'll be fine. Like that. A little. Okay. So that's that. And then this here. This is why I'm starting in pencil, because eventually I am going to lose the plot. Just, it's what I do. Get used to it. But I have a nice top shelf just here. And another one. Goes like that. Okay, so I've sort of drawn my little bookshelf. And I might put something up at the top here that just says books or reading list. Not sure yet, but let's just we'll do the ink bit now. So this is why I've left one square frame sort of allowance around here. This is the best brown marker I could find. So sad. But there we go. I'm using a water-based marker today. I don't always, I quite like to use alcohol-based markers. But in this case, because it looks like wood, I can get away with it being a little streaky because it can look like the wood grain, which is fine. And also I am going slightly outside the line, which again does not matter. Okay, if it matters to you, fine, but it don't matter to me. I am not one of these perfectionist people, so. Wood grain is looking very strange indeed right now, but yeah, what you gonna do? I'll show you what we can do with this after, just to give it a little bit more interest if you want it to have more interest. I was thinking about this the other day. I thought I might put some actual like little eyes and things on the vertical parts of this. So that's the outline, and then the shelves get separated like that. You're watching me color. You know, sound off below in the comments. What kind of trackers do you want to make? Have you made any that you're particularly proud of, that you want to show off? I would love to see them. This is just one. I swear I just haven't ever made one of these. And it's this easy, so I don't know why I haven't. Can't explain it. It's all right, we start now. We start today. So this is our lovely wooden shelf unit. And I mean, you know, you can do what you like. If you want to make it look like it's got more depth, you can do that. I kind of like the idea of there being maybe some little legs on the bottom of it, like that. I don't know. It's not as top heavy as it looks. It's just the camera angle. Right. Well, I've got some green here, so let's just pop a little messy color onto the plant. Of course, if you are more artsy, you can do more with this, but this is just me being me. I'm doing my thing. And the black outline, because why not? Sorry, my hand is like squeaking on the paper. Now, I don't want this to look particularly neat, so I'm just doing my thing. The whole point of this is to put your own personal style onto your diary. So this is what I'm doing. You may want to do it some other way, and that is okay. I like this pen. This is it's a Uniball Air, and it's just been hanging out in my messy pencil case for a long, long time. And I really like it. I wonder if they still make them. I don't even know what kind of pen this is. I left a little white in. Of course, the other thing you can do if you want is you can add a background, maybe a slightly darker color to the back of these shelves after you've put all of the foreground elements in, just to give it the illusion of depth, I guess. But I'm not here to teach you how to draw clearly, because I barely do it myself. Okay. I like it to be a little cartoony, so black outlines it is. You can leave them out if you want. Does not matter. Have I said yet that you do what you want? Yeah. Okay, and this long looking, very strange shaped shelf here. Well, now we have a shelf. Yeah, outline this plant. Good enough, right? So that's kind of cute. And we'll see here, look. Make it look a little bit like it goes back some. Yeah. Not really. Right, so next, that's the sort of the scenery bit. That's the, yeah, that's the scenery. So now we add the substance. Now, I think it would be nice to have a book that's maybe that big, and then maybe one that's a little taller, a wider one, another kind of skinnier one, and this one here that maybe leans up against that, and then maybe this one and that one. So that is how you do a shelf. And for this one, I like the idea that maybe some of the books are stacked. Like that. Maybe save these big spaces for long titled books. You know, some books are kind of like bound and they've got funny little shapes in them. Well, maybe that one's got that. And then there's a little shorter one here that doesn't. There we go. So there's some more books. I might just be being a little bit too optimistic here about what I'm going to read. But, you know, the good thing about this is you don't have to date this if you don't want. So if you continue to use this in all your other diaries, then you're fine until the bookshelf is full, and then you can archive this one and make a new one. For now, let's see. What else do we want to do? Yes. On there. And have another stack. And some more. Come down. Big chubby one. And a skinny one. And then That doesn't even look like a real book, that one. I think I just messed the whole thing up. But anyway, that is my bookshelf. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in a couple of these just with little, book titles that I know I've already read. So let's see, what have I read recently? I read a book called Wise Guy. So I'm going to write Wise Guy, and I'm going to take a very light color. Maybe this, I'll take a green highlighter, that'll do. And it's a green pastel highlighter, so it's extremely light colored. Whoops. Except that I'm smearing all my darker ink over it. That's nice, okay. Anyway, that's a book that I've read recently, so that's the first book that goes on my shelf. Example, if there's other books that I'm planning to read, then we put them down as well. Let's see, what am I going to read? Yeah, Fast and Loose. Well, that's another book I'm going to read. Don't ask. Go. So I'm just going to fill this shelf up first, and then, if I think of other books that I've actually bought. Yeah, I did. Okay, what other book? Here we go. I've got a book called Geek Love. So I'll be reading that. And, for one of these smaller ones, there's a play called JB I'm planning to read. Let's call this one JB. That's good. Larger title, bigger space. 5 people you meet in hell. Boop. 5 people you meet in hell. Oh, I've read that. Guess I'll color that baby in too. There we go. And let's see. Oh, Brave New World. That's one. I'm listening to it, but I'm going to put that up here. I need a big book for that because it's a big title. Brave New World. And next to it, I'm going to put B&W Revisited, because I bought that one and it's the sequel to Brave New World. So I'm going to put that up there. I'm not done with Brave New World yet. And when I think of all the other books, oh, there's another one. Hold on. Jackson Squared. Downloaded that one as well. So my bookshelf, as you can see, is really shaping up. And as I read and as I finish these books that I'm reading, it's going to get more and more colorful and more full. So that is a great way to keep track of your reading. As far as titles go, I quite like the idea of, ooh, I know what I'll do. I like these little shapes, like, just a little frame or something. So this is a punch, and this is self-adhesive cardstock. So I'm just going to punch this lovely shape out of self-adhesive cardstock. And And then I'm going to write on it reading list. Right, and I guess I will make sure it's dry. And I'm going to peel. Sorry, this is really awkward. There's no point in me looking at this. Very strange thing to be doing. Trying to peel the adhesive off of this. I'm not there yet. Talk amongst yourselves. Do you need a topic to discuss while I'm trying to peel this layer off? Dearie me. It's got desperate now. I got the box cutter. There we go. Much better, thank you. Whoops, that didn't totally come off. Okay. So here we go. And I can just pop that. Actually, I'll put it there. Here we go. Reading list. And what I tend to do is I tend to push it just a little too far and I risk making a mistake. And this is where I'm going to do that today, ever true to my character. I have just stuck on a rather thick piece of paper here and I'm going to outline it because it's just not standing proud enough. And I'm going to do this freehand using the shape itself as a guide and risking making a terrible, terrible mess of it. Because, I don't know, maybe I'm an adrenaline junkie. Are you an adrenaline junkie? Do you risk ruining an entire project by suddenly deciding to freehand something? I do. And it hasn't exactly got ruined, so good news. Good news on all fronts. My reading list layout, with the exception of a few reinforcements for the hulls, is complete. So, have a think. What are you reading? This can also be adapted to just about anything, although it does work quite nicely and quite literally for a reading list because it is a bookshelf. So, get planning and let me know what you're tracking. And I will see you next time on Plan With Me. I've been Cy, and this has been Unravel and Unwind. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.